Hello and welcome. This guide is brought to you by the experts at My Tax Accountant, and we're here to talk about a huge change coming for UK landlords. If you're a landlord, you know that feeling, that last-minute scramble with a shoebox full of receipts in January. Well, all of that is about to change. A massive shift is on the horizon, and we're here to help you navigate it with total confidence.
I mean, for years, right? The piles of paper, the stress building up to that January 31st deadline, it's just been part of the job. But believe me, that entire way of doing things is about to become a thing of the past.
So what is this big change? It's called Making Tax Digital, or MTD for short. Now that might sound a little intimidating, but really it's all about bringing the UK tax system into the 21st century. And don't you worry, because today we're going to break down everything you need to know with some fantastic guidance from our friends over at My Tax Accountant.
So, here is our game plan. We'll start with what this whole digital shakeup is all about. Then, we'll figure out if you're in that first wave of landlords affected. After that, we'll lay out a simple action plan, weigh up the costs versus the benefits, and finally, point you towards getting some expert help. Ready? Let's dive in. Okay, first things first. What exactly is this big digital tax shakeup? Why is HMRC doing this now, and what does it actually mean for the way you handle your property finances day to day?
So at its heart, making tax digital is pretty much what it sounds like. It's HMRC's big plan to get the whole tax system online. For you as a landlord, it really boils down to two massive changes. Number one, you've got to keep digital records of all your income and expenses. And number two, you'll be sending updates to HMRC 4 times a year, not just that one mad dash at the end.
In this table, well, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? The old way was all about paper, spreadsheets, and that one, often pretty stressful annual tax return. The new MTD way, it's all about digital records and proper software, those 4 quarterly updates that give you a real-time estimate of your tax, and then one final end-of-year declaration. It's a total shift from a single big deadline to a much more continuous, ongoing process.
So you're probably asking, why? Why on earth is HMRC doing all this? Well, the answer is this number right here, £36 billion. That was the UK's estimated tax gap for the 2022 to 23 tax year. That's the difference between the tax that should have been paid and what HMRC actually received. The thinking is, by moving to a digital system with more regular check-ins, they can slash the number of errors and really start to close that gap.
Okay, so you get the what and the why. Now for the really big question. Does this actually apply to you? And if it does, when does it all kick in? The rollout is happening in stages, so let's get you pinpointing your exact start date.
All right, this timeline is absolutely key. The first wave kicks off in April 2026, and that's for landlords with a gross annual income over £50,000. A year later, April 2027, that threshold drops down to £30,000. And then from April 2028, it expands again to include those earning over $20,000. So your first job is to figure out your total qualifying income to see which of these groups you fall into.
But wait, what exactly is qualifying income? This is a super common question, and it's really important. It's the total of your gross rental income, and that's the keyword gross, meaning before any expenses are taken off, plus any gross income you have from self-employment. And just as important is what doesn't count. Your regular PAYE salary from a job, any pension income, or dividends, they're all completely excluded from this calculation.
And here's a fantastic pro tip for you, especially if you own properties with someone else. Your personal MTD threshold is based only on your share of the rental income. So let's say you and a partner own a property together that brings in £60,000 a year. If you split that income 50-50, your personal qualifying income is $30,000. That means you wouldn't be in that first wave in 2026. You'd actually join the party in 2027. See how that works?
Okay, you know the what, the why, and the when. Now let's get practical. This isn't something to be scared of. It's just something we need to prepare for. So we're going to walk you through a really simple 4-step guide to get you completely MTD ready.
Here it is, your 4-step plan. First, dig out your 2024 to 25 tax return to double-check your income and confirm that start date. Second, you got to choose your weapon, your software. You'll need an MTD-compatible option like FreeAgent, QuickBooks, or Xero. Third, once you're set up, you or your accountant will need to officially register you for MTD with HMRC. And finally, step 4, and honestly, this is the most important one. Start now. Please don't wait for the deadline. Begin keeping your records digitally today. It's all about building that habit so the transition feels effortless.
One of the biggest mental shifts is this new rhythm of reporting. You can officially say goodbye to that single January deadline. You'll now have 4 quarterly submission deadlines throughout the year. The first one is August 5th, then November 5th, and so on. This is a major change in habit, so getting these dates into your calendar right now is a very, very smart move.
So you might be wondering, does preparing early really make a difference? Oh, absolutely. Let's take Elowen, a landlord down in Cornwall. She knew her income put her in that first wave, so she started using software more than a year early. She just spent a little bit of time each week getting her records straight. And you know what? When her first MTD deadline rolled around in 2026, it was just another day at the office. No stress, no panic. That is the power of starting early. Okay, let's talk about the bottom line, shall we? I know any change like this comes with questions about money. What's this actually going to cost? What's the investment here? And maybe more importantly, is there a real payoff beyond just ticking a box for HMRC?
Well, HMRC has given us some estimates to get a ballpark figure. They reckon there's an average one-off setup cost of about £320. Now that covers things like getting used to the new system and buying the software. After that, they estimate an ongoing cost of about £110 a year, which is mainly for that software subscription.
And here is another huge pro tip you need to remember. The entire cost of your MTD software is a tax-deductible expense. What does that mean? It means you can subtract that cost from your rental income, which directly lowers your tax bill. It's a great way to help offset these new costs.
But now let's talk about the really good stuff, the payoff, because this is where MTD can actually become a powerful tool for you. With a real-time view of your finances, you can plan your cash flow way more effectively. Digital records mean fewer silly mistakes that could lead to penalties. You will spend so much less time on that year-end admin scramble. And for some people, it can even lead to lower accountant fees because all your data is already neat and tidy.
We have covered a lot of ground, the what, why, when, and how. But look, it's totally normal to feel like you might need a guide to help you through all this. So let's talk about your next step and how you can get through this transition with absolute confidence.
Be honest. Do these new deadlines, the idea of choosing software, and this whole shift to digital, does it feel a bit much? It's a big change, and it is absolutely okay to feel that way. Trust me, many landlords are in the exact same boat, just trying to figure out the best way forward. But the key thing I want you to take away today is that you do not have to feel overwhelmed. The path is clear, the benefits are very real, and most importantly, expert help is right there to make sure your switch to MTRD is completely seamless and stress-free.
If you want to make this whole transition as easy as humanly possible, the amazing team at My Tax Accountant is ready to help. You can reach out to them directly on WhatsApp or by phone at 07854-255-375. You can also email them at info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. And for more helpful guides just like this one, they would love it if you'd subscribe to their YouTube channel.
So, making tax digital is definitely coming. But the goal here isn't just to comply. It's to use this change to actually benefit your business and finally get rid of that year-end stress for good. With the right preparation and the right support, you can absolutely make this transition a massive success. Thank you so much for joining us today.